Is this thing working? I think it's working finally. Oh my God, I've had so much trouble trying to get this thing set up. So, good afternoon, people of Facebook. I put on my pretty face for you today. Today, I wanted to come on here and talk about how you plate your food. It's super important. And I'm doing it now because for a lot of people right now is prime time for eating lunch. It's my time. It's just almost 1:15. And a lot of people will go to buffets or they'll do luncheons in the cafeteria at work and stuff. And, you know, they take a plate that looks like this. Usually it's styrofoam or paper or something. And they'll come in and they'll just like load all this stuff on their plate. And if you are trying to eat a diet that is going to enable you to get the nutrients that you need, to be able to maintain a healthy weight, to maintain healthy blood sugar levels, you really have to consider how you're putting the food on your plate. So for lunch today, we're having leftovers. We're having a salad and all of the vegetable accoutrements, onions, peppers. I got some carrots here. We are also having boiled yuca. Some people also call it cassava. Some people also call it manioc. It looks like this. For us, it's replaced potatoes because my husband, as a type 2 diabetic, has found that when he eats lots of potatoes that it tends to spike his blood sugar. So we really like boiled yuca because it actually tastes 1,000 times better than your standard potato. It's rich and creamy and buttery and really doesn't take that long to make, although peeling it's kind of a pain. And then we also have leftover buttermilk fried chicken breast. So, a standard person would go to a place and they would see this here and they would eat this giant piece of chicken. I'm going to set this on the plate so you can see. Look how much of the plate space that one piece of chicken takes. That's way too much. Way too much. And then let's say this was like mashed potatoes or something like that. I see people come into a place and they load this giant scoop and then another giant scoop on top of that. And then when it comes to the vegetables that they need to include, they'll go like this and they'll put like this little tiny section of vegetables on their plate. Not even close to the ratio of foods that you should be having to maintain the best diet possible. Granted, all of us have different dietary needs, and some of us do need a little more protein than others, and some of us do need a little more carbs than others. And in that in that case, I'm talking about people that work out constantly, athletes, people that have highly physically intensive jobs and things like that. They may need a little more. In general, you need to consider that your plate is like a clock. And we have a clock that's in a circle, just like our plate. We need 30 minutes of good fibrous vegetables. So we're going to make a salad here. And we're going to do our little clock. And so I got my lettuce, and I got my onions, and I got my peppers. And let's throw some carrots on there for good measure. And you may not be able to tell from the angle because my tripod is terrible and I can't get a good angle. But this side of the plate, it's half of the plate, and it's piled high with all of these delicious vegetables. Next, if you feel the need to have some kind of starch, be it a wild rice or a quinoa or something that is not a starchy vegetable that easily converts to glucose. You want to take a scoop, if it will get on the spoon for me, a little bit there, and a little bit there. And I would say if I had a measuring cup, that would probably come out to be about 1/3 of a cup or so. And then you want to take your protein, whatever protein it is that you're eating. The general rule of thumb is that the amount of protein that you put on your plate should be about the size of your palm or about the size of a credit card, which I think generally translates to about 4 ounces. I'm not into all that measuring stuff in terms of, you know, like, oh, 4 ounces and 500 milliliters. Psh, what does it look like? Does it look like it's a decent size? Does it look like it's, you know, a giant piece? And so cut the chicken breast here, and that's about the size. I can hold it up to my hand. As you can see, it fits in the palm of my hand. Put it on the plate, and there you go. You got 30 minutes of really good, solid, healthy vegetables, 15 minutes of a starch, 15 minutes of a protein. They call this the clock plate method. It's something that I use with my diabetes clients and something that I've also used with other clients when they're trying to lose weight. It is recommended by the American Diabetes Association to fix your plate in this way. And this helps to ensure that you really get nutrients that your body needs, and kind of cut back a little bit on those carbohydrates and those proteins. And then for dressing, you know, a lot of people want to like load on the dressing. But when you do that, a lot of times you're not reading the ingredient labels on the back of those dressings, and they contain all kinds of different chemicals, lots and lots of extra sugar, high fructose corn syrup. Some of them contain dyes and different things. And even though those things have been approved by the FDA and the USDA, doesn't mean that they don't cause some people problems. And so if you can avoid them, it's best. And one of the things that I love to do is to take a fresh lemon like this and put it on top of my salad. It adds nice tartness, nice citrusy flavor. And sometimes if I'm feeling a little froggy, I like to take a little bit of an orange and squeeze the juice of that on as well. I know that sounds a little crazy, but I promise if you try it, unless you like hate citrus fruits, you're probably gonna love it. And then you would go ahead and just finish that off with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, fresh cracked pepper if you have it. And you have a perfect lunch. And eating like this is going to give you the nutrients that will provide you with sustained energy so that you don't get that afternoon slump or that evening slump where you eat and then you're like, oh, I'm in a coma now. Oh, food. Okay. And then, you know, you can treat yourself a little bit afterward. You can have a cookie. 1 cookie, 2 cookies. You don't need to eat the whole bag of cookies. Studies have been done trying to see if this method of eating works, and the science proves that it does work. And one of the reasons why it works so well is because it's super easy to remember. There's no complicated carb counting, there's no complicated calorie counting and measuring out macronutrients and all this other stuff. It's really simple. Your plate is a clock, 30 minutes vegetables, 15 of the other 2. And if you want to skip the carbs, if you're doing like a low carb diet or keto diet or something, make your plate 40 minutes of vegetables and 20 minutes of protein. The next thing, and this might, I don't want to say it's the most important, but it's one of the really important things, is when you sit down to eat and you have your plate in front of you, start with the vegetables first. Because that way, those nutrients from those vegetables are going to be the first thing that your body absorbs. If you're stuffing yourself with starch rice, potatoes, wheat products, bread, pasta, things like that. The first thing that your body is going to pick up through your guts is the stuff that converts to sugar. If you eat the vegetables first, you slow down that process significantly. And that helps keep your blood sugar levels in check. And it also cuts down on weight gain and hormonal imbalances and all those different things. So eat your veggies first. And the third thing I want to tell you is that a lot of times, especially when you go to a restaurant or whatever, and they come over and they say, what do you want to drink? Or, you're looking for something to drink. You're going to pick up a soda, or you're going to pick up a juice or something like that. We generally don't keep soda in the house, but I have this Pellegrino limonada, which I keep sometimes in the closet, to add to recipes or, mix a little bit with water or something. This thing right here, if I was to drink this whole can, according to the nutrition label on the back, it only contains 16% juice and it has 26 grams of carbs. So if you are a person who's following a keto diet, you drink this, you're done. You can't have any other carbs for the day if you're following that kind of diet. If you are following the American Diabetes Association recommendations for diet, they say that it's okay for you to have 60 grams of carbs per meal. So if you drink this, that's half of your carbs. What else are you going to fill it with? You can't then also go eat a giant pile of mashed potatoes. So if you're a person that really, really likes soda, one of the things I would recommend you try is flavored seltzer water. This one is bubbly and it is peach flavored. It has 0 sugar, 0 sodium, 0 anything. It does actually have a nice flavor to it. Try this instead. Might take a minute to get used to it, but you could grow to like it. We did. We used to drink soda like it was going out of style. And little by little, we transitioned over to these. And that is one of the central things that has enabled my husband to reduce his diabetes numbers from a whopping 11.3 back in summer of 2017 to now 6.5, which is considered well controlled. However, nothing is going to replace good old-fashioned water. This right here is a 500 milliliter cup that I borrowed from one of the hospitals I was working at a few years ago. But it's really great because it has the numbers on the side, so it helps me measure how much water I'm actually drinking. If you start your meal by drinking a bit of water, that's also going to help you feel full and satisfied so that you don't feel the need to eat as much. So you drink some water. If you don't want water, drink a seltzer or something that doesn't have extra sugar in it, extra carbs. And then, like I said, order or plate your food according to this clock rule. 30, 15, and 15. I hope that this has been informative for you. And again, as I said before, this is, a diet that's recommended for diabetes patients. But if we all ate like that, maybe we wouldn't develop diabetes to begin with or other chronic health conditions. I look forward to hearing your comments and your questions and your feedback. So drop me some comments below and reach out to me if you have any questions or need anything at all. I'm here for you as always. I love you, and I hope you all have a fan-freaking-tastic rest of your Thursday. Peace out.